Yeah. I'm trying to get you out on a electric scooter on the road. He needs
Oh,
to
yeah.
know that
We're
you're not.
imperiling your
He's
life.
a little scared.
Yeah, I can imagine. Welcome to another edition of Witch Trials at the Kackling Koven, where we take on Reddit stories. As usual, we have Shannon
Hello.
and Jay,
Hi.
and I am Dean, and I'll be reading us our Reddit stories today. Today we picked some Reddit stories specifically from the Polyamory subreddit, because we are in a polyamorous relationship.
Yes.
Not every one of our metas are here right now. There are other people out in the world who may be on the show at some point later.
Yes, we're going to bring them on.
Stars.
Yeah, that's a benefit of poly, is the large community of people who will be there for you when you ask them to come on your dumb YouTube podcast.
Yes.
I shouldn't put myself down like that, but it's not
us.
dumb.
I mean, write a comment. Is it dumb?
Yeah. I think we had one comment, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, or I would call out our commenter. I think they believe they said, "This is interesting."
Oh. That's like what grandma says.
Yeah. So
Your
Sure,
artwork.
my friend Erin left us a comment too saying that we were friggin' awesome.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
awesome. That's cool.
I think we'll do like a whole episode. If we get a bunch of comments, we'll pick all the funniest ones, the most extreme ones, and the ones that like touch us the most deeply. We'll do an episode with just all fan comments.
Yes, absolutely. And if you have questions, put them in the comments, because that gives us more content to make.
Woohoo!
And, it's something that someone
Content.
specifically asked for. That's even better. So,
Hey, do you want to start this off with a tarot draw?
Oh, yeah.
oh, we could start with a tarot draw, sure.
Got a deck
I'll
there.
grab it.
Yeah, I've got my laptop in my lap.
So sometimes we like to start an episode by drawing a card that kind of gives us a clue about what the theme of the episode is going to turn out to be.
Did you want to do it?
I can
I should have helped there, but I'm just
tell
sitting
you
there
what, how
helplessly
about
in the
I
middle.
shuffle and Dean shuffle and you draw?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this. I know
Yeah.
you guys aren't a fan of this kind,
is
but I
the-
like it.
Yeah, the fold-out style guide.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't like those as much.
Yeah, you should get it ready to
There you go.
read the card.
It requires so much more space. It's like those old maps goes.
Yeah.
I am a map lover, so
But
maybe that's part of it.
Almost impossible to fold them back up the same way you had them originally.
Oh
right?
yeah,
So-
it's a puzzle, it's a challenge.
It's like getting to page through it.
All right. Do you want to pick a card from here? We'll see what we've got.
Pick a card, any card you want.
Get this ready so that we can read the themed Beetlejuice interpretation of the card. We'll do a review of this deck at some point.
Yes,
What do we
go
get?
check out our
We
tarot
got
reviews.
the Four of Wands.
The Four of Wands. Okay.
I'm loving the picture of it.
What's
That
the
is
picture?
that is on the
Aw. Okay.
Yeah, we'll try to get a
Post
photo
it
of
up.
that up on the screen. It's funny because Four of Wands is one of the ones that just by default shows up.
Ah,
If you
we
open
are
up the thing.
default.
Yeah. So, okay, Four of
hardly.
Wands upright. A good grade on a math test, the circumvention of a gross frog dissection, and photos of the new town hall. Coming home has never felt so good. Like Barbara, Adam, and Lydia, you are in a place of peace and kinship, with home being the best place you can imagine. The Four of Wands asks how you can show gratitude for the love and safety in your life while celebrating the people who make it so magical.
I think by doing this podcast, I
Yep.
think that's how we do it.
Okay, so maybe some of the stories that come up will have to do with, reinforcing relationships and being grateful for what you have. Maybe that'll be a theme.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm the only one
Or
who
it
looked
could
at
be
these ahead of
drama.
time. So
It's probably gonna be drama.
it could be
Most likely drama.
You don't really like post up on Reddit unless you're bringing some drama.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get this started here with our first story from our polyamory. This is just from 5 days ago.
Nice.
Fresh.
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of updates on these and stuff, but am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to give me a sign of life every now and then while on a date?
Oh, a sign of life.
A sign of life.
Is he dating a corpse?
On a date with another person?
All right, let's get into it. TLDR, girlfriend went on a date and the guy got mad when she texted me that she was fine and having a good time because, in his opinion, it makes me a control freak.
What?
Okay.
So, my girlfriend went on a first date recently, and I asked her to just give me a sign of life every now and then, like just an emoji or a having a good time text or whatever, just so I know that she's okay and I don't have to worry. And obviously not during a conversation, but when someone's getting drinks or going to the toilet or whatever. She agreed, told me that she would have done that even if I didn't ask, and said that she also wants to share her location because it makes her feel safer.
That was my first instinct, is like, before I even hear this story, obviously she's got someone she's checking in with on a first date with a new person, and they're going to want to know during the date, are you still okay? How are you doing? And if this guy's pushing back on that, maybe he is up to something. That's red flag city.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, like in poly, you have a partner that you can rely on to be that go-to safety
Yeah.
net that you
in
can touch base
addition
with.
to your
But
BFFs.
even if you're not poly, like you should probably have a good friend or a family member or
Someone who knows where you're going to be.
Yeah, who knows where you're going to be and when to expect that you should be back and to be worried about you if you don't come home because you're meeting a stranger.
This guy's upset that she has a support network.
Yeah.
It feels like he was planning to be horrible.
So we got a little bit more of this. She went on the date. Everything was going fine. He went to the toilet, came back, saw her texting, asked if everything was okay, and she told him she was just texting me that she's okay and having a good time. He then went on a rant about how controlling and manipulative I am for asking for something like that, and that he won't date someone who is in a relationship with such a control freak. He then paid his bill and left.
No, pot kettle. He's the one being controlling.
Yeah. Bullet dodged.
Yeah, in my opinion, I didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted to know that she is okay so that I don't have to worry. I didn't ask for her to text me at specific times or to interrupt their conversation or whatever. As I said, I only wanted her to text me when she has time for it and it won't affect the date. But I'm now also wondering if I'm actually the bad guy here. What do you think? Am I the asshole?
Absolutely. not.
Yeah.
No.
That's
no,
clear.
No.
That's extremely clear, not the asshole.
No.
Is there a
Wow.
verdict? It's fresh, but
It's
we know how the
fresh,
world
but I mean,
feels?
I think this is because this is an "Am I the Asshole" on the polyamory forum. It doesn't have the same like exact structure
Yeah.
as actual that. Let me look through some of the top comments here. It's a first date, and she was telling you she was enjoying it while he was away from the table. Would he have the same reaction if she was saying the same thing to a friend or relative?
right.
So it's not a poly issue here.
Yeah.
This is such a red flag, and I would have left the date. He either doesn't like acknowledging metas or doesn't understand why a woman would want to do check-ins
That-
with someone while on a first date. Both deal breakers.
Yeah.
There's a third thing, which is that he's pretending not to understand because he was planning on
Well, yeah,
this,
you could
this
make that
interrupted
assumption.
his plan to push her into something she didn't consent to, knowing that she's got people who are watching
Mm-hmm.
her back.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be so like extremely paranoid about that, I think, if it hadn't happened to me multiple times.
yeah.
This is not a rare case. This is common in dating, and it's terrible. And it's, always make sure someone knows your location. I mean, there's nothing you can do to be 100% safe,
Yeah.
but you can do some things. Just pull in the people closest to you and let them know where you're at, how you're feeling during the date. Yeah, if the guy's upset about that, he can go. He can go kick rocks next, you know?
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder if that guy, not to excuse his behavior, had some kind of problem with a previous relationship where someone was, a meta was very controlling of his partner and caused problems in the relationship. And that can happen, but this
And
is
if you're grown, you
not the way to
communicate
deal.
about
Yeah,
that.
and if you're trying to start a good relationship with your meta, don't get mad that they exist and that your partner texted them while you're in the bathroom.
Yeah,
For real.
that guy's trash.
Yeah, another person here says, I think the main point here is that she said she would have done so anyway, even if you hadn't asked. If she would have said she doesn't want to do check ins and you would have pushed her for it, that might have been a different situation.
Yeah.
But you both decided that's a level of communication you want to hold. Negotiation, communication.
Hmm.
That's just
Obvious, yeah.
smart.
Obviously, that's not to say the agreements made by two people can't be based on manipulation, or that another partner would just have to accept all agreements made, no questions asked. But the fact her date flew off the handle and freaked out over a "I'm having fun" text is ridiculous.
Yeah, those like little rage tantrums that are
Mm-hmm.
based in insecurity, in my opinion, there's almost no greater evidence to who is going to turn out to be abusive in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Those little insecurities that they're having, that instead of emotionally regulating themselves, they turn into a tantrum.
Yeah, I think this guy's
That person's going to
problem.
be abusive.
This guy's problem with control freaks is that he wants to be the only
Right.
control freak.
It's projection for sure.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. The OP actually replied back to that comment and said, if she said no, I wouldn't have pushed her to do it. She can do what she wants, and I didn't ask her because I want to control or manipulate her. It is just for us both to feel good with almost no effort. And of course, another partner wouldn't have to accept it. Hell, if she had another partner, I'm her only one at the moment, I wouldn't want her to text me when they're on a date. I would want her to enjoy the time. Same goes for my wife and her boyfriend. She can text or call me whenever she wants to when she's with him, but I don't expect her to do so. I want them to have a good time without thinking about me. But yeah, that's my point. It was their first date, and he freaked out about it like I did something terribly wrong.
Yeah, it's first date, and in my opinion, even up to like maybe date 5, it's a special case. You don't know this person. You
Hmm.
don't know how they're going to behave. You don't know what their intentions are. It's, in my opinion, you can have two different sets of rules. There's rules about like, or not rules, I guess, negotiation about what you want to do in those first couple dates with a new person. And then once you start bonding and getting closer, what you'll do after that.
Yeah.
I don't think I would continue to check in when I've been seeing someone for several months, you know?
Because at that point you trust that they're safe with this person. You
Right.
have experience. You can trust that. But yeah, this is definitely
I
another person
check
said.
in
Yeah.
with Aaron all the time just to let him know.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we think anything will happen to me over here, just because something could.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to get you out on a electric scooter on the road. He needs
Oh,
to
yeah.
know that
We're
you're not.
imperiling your
He's
life.
a little scared.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. Well, we didn't go out because it's a little chilly and rainy, but we're gonna get you a helmet to be for sure, or find your old motorcycle helmet.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so that was a pretty clear cut story, I
That's a
think.
good one to start off with.
Yeah. Let me move along to. We've got another our polyamory story. This one from 19 hours ago.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really just browsing the front page looking for anything. So these aren't
Nice.
necessarily the highest rated stories, and they might not be the best, but I tried to just go through the front page and see what I could find. All right. From our polyamory, am I overreacting for considering breaking up with my partner over this?
Depends on the this.
Yeah. I have never been in an instance like this, as any poly partners I have had are still in my life to some degree. I'm not sure if I'm being dramatic because my feelings are hurt or if I'm justified in considering ending the relationship. I, 29 woman, have a partner of 10 months, 34 man, that is nested with my meta, 32 female. They are out of town visiting friends this weekend and also spent last night together for Valentine's Day with my meta's other partner. This morning, I was feeling some jealousy of my meta's time since she's getting the whole weekend and had an additional day. My partner and I had date night on Wednesday and counted that as our Valentine's date night, but it wasn't any different from a usual date night. This morning, I expressed the big feelings I was having, and my partner acted like me having negative emotions was a direct attack on him. This is where it gets iffy. Struggling with feeling jealous of my meta has been a prevalent problem recently. When I brought my feelings to my partner, he made a snide comment essentially along the lines of, "Sorry NP managed to squeeze another night out of me." It was giving very, God forbid I spend another night with my partner, which I never said I had a problem with, just that I was jealous of the time. I'm feeling really hurt and like I can't bring feelings to him without him getting so defensive and treating my feelings like they're meant to be a direct attack on him. He also knows any negative emotions regarding my meta are something I have been really working on because I adore her. So this comment felt very targeted and intentional to hurt me. Am I overreacting?
I feel like I need more information
Yeah.
because one thing that really stuck out to me is that their Wednesday date night that was supposed to stand in for Valentine's was no different than a regular date night. And I wonder if that's the root of it is
Yeah.
not just that she's not getting as much time, but she feels like the time she gets is not as much quality
Not
and invested
special.
time.
Yeah, there wasn't a special getaway with multiple partners there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a number of things contributing to this and that they're not all sort of spelled out in the post.
Yeah, and we're kind of taking her word on his tone
Right.
of being snide. I don't know. If he is being, dismissive of her feeling jealousy, like it's okay to say like I'm feeling some jealousy about not getting enough time with you when you went away for the weekend after I only got the one date night. And Valentine's means something to me, and communicate that if Valentine's Day is important to you, because it's not that important to some people.
Means nothing to me.
Yeah. So,
There's one thing that I have struggled with, which is one of my biggest fears is being misunderstood. So when someone brings what I see as a potential conflict to me and they let me know how they're feeling about a thing, I immediately want to tell them how it wasn't my intention and give them all the explanations so that what I did isn't misunderstood as something that was, deliberate to hurt them, instead of just acknowledging their emotion.
yeah.
I feel like what I'm learning is step one is to kind of validate them and give them positive reinforcement to bringing that to you instead of just keeping quiet and letting it fester and letting it ruin the relationship over time. You have to like engage with them first in almost a thankful way that they even brought it to you. And then you have to validate that they're allowed to have feelings. And then the next hardest part for me that I struggle with is saying I accept that you have that feeling without saying that it's something I'm going to change, because it isn't always. Sometimes an emotion
Yeah.
is just an emotion and they'll work through it and it's not something you need to actually change. You don't have to make promises that you're never going to do it again. And that's why I think a lot of people don't meet people in that moment, is because they know that they're not willing to change. So they're just going to stay defensive.
Yeah. There was a snippet of a comment that someone left here that I'll read that relates to that, which is regarding the jealousy, I've learned through experience that my own jealousy has been better managed with my partner if I only approach him with my jealous feelings when I need an adjustment in the relationship. When I can't come up with a concrete need that can be verbalized, then I call them big feels and process on my own with a therapist or vent to a friend.
Yeah.
If I've identified a need that wasn't met, I'd word it something along the lines of, hey partner, I was feeling jealous and disappointed the other day because I felt like we didn't get enough intentional time together around a holiday that matters a lot to me. I know we should have scheduled it in advance and we can do that in the future, but can we find some way to make up for it next week?
Yeah, that sounds smart, making up for it.
Yeah, and that person says they're a poly newbie, but that sounds like a pretty smart
Yeah.
way of
That's
trying
mature.
to handle it. Yeah.
That's someone
Very
who's
nice
had
and
some
mature.
experiences. They've been in the world for a while. They've arrived at this over time, I think. But also, it's kind of like keep your feelings to yourself unless they're practical feelings,
Well, yeah.
and
not
just
entirely
bring the
that.
emotion, the illogical overreaction, emotional side of it to friends and therapists. And I think there's also a little bit of a middle ground there, which is instead of coming to your partner with, here's how you hurt me and here's how I'm feeling hurt and all this stuff, in that moment, if you're not asking them to change something, maybe just ask for a hug.
Yeah.
Ask for what you actually need in that moment while you're
Yeah.
having a big emotion.
Attention.
Yeah.
Get your hug.
Yeah. If all you need is reassurance, that can be the concrete thing that you need to verbalize
Yeah.
what you're feeling. So, yeah.
I'm working on that as well, which is why I said it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need a hug.
And of course, there's plenty of people, if he attacks when he feels discomfort, that is an excellent reason to break up. So there's plenty of people who are ready to jump straight to break up as well. But
Yeah, but also like sometimes when you're in a vulnerable state, you can hear things in a different way than they were intended.
I know I do that.
Yeah.
And then one other comment here says, maybe give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. Valentine's Day is so stressful no matter what kind of relationship you are. Hell, it's tough if you're single too. I know your expectations weren't entirely met on your night, but maybe you can try again when they get back. If you talk to him later and feel sure about being clear about what kind of date you want it to be and he's dismissive, then you can start worrying about if the relationship is worth it. Sounds like there
Yeah.
haven't been many problems leading up to this, and if the relationship comes with additional community that you like, your meta, then maybe don't jump ship right away.
Well, I disagree with it. Sounds like there haven't been many problems leading up to this. I think for the average person, when you feel very loved, appreciated, valued every day, those big holidays become less and less important over time.
Yeah.
I think there's only really additional pressure on it for the average person. If it's like you're ignored all year and then on Valentine's you don't even get a card, like that's when the bitterness starts. It's because of long-term problems that you haven't been addressing. I think she definitely feels not special. And in poly, one of the ways that you can help alleviate that is to start dating again.
Yeah, you always have that option.
Yeah.
I think
That is the glory of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all I feel like feel saturated at the moment.
Oh yeah, I'm full up. Don't at me.
So we're not trying to date, but we all know that is an option if for some reason we are unhappy in
Not
one of
just,
our
like,
relationships and we
just
can't
not,
work through it.
Not as happy as we could be. Like if, you're very satisfied with your partner, but there's just one area of life where you don't want them to change who they are, but you have an unmet need, romantically or otherwise. You can continue dating.
If one of you wants to
get
go
that
take
need
swing
met.
dancing classes, then I don't have to be involved in that, and that's fine.
You're not going to get a divorce because your partner doesn't want to dance. That's not enough of a reason to get divorced. But
I would
you're
hope
limiting
not.
your life if you just say, well, he doesn't want to dance, so we're not going to dance,
All right. Well, not a whole lot more good comments on there, I don't think, just because it's so new. I picked out one other that's it's not an am I the asshole or am I overreacting. This is just someone asking for some opinions. Proof of E&M is the post title.
Okay.
Just curious to know other people's opinions on asking for proof of E&M status, ethical non-monogamy, for viewers who might not be familiar with the terminology, from people you're dating. I casually mentioned my married E&M boyfriend somewhere on Reddit and got a bunch of responses of the "how do you know you're not the other woman" variety. Well, I don't, but I take him at his word. My take is that it's not my job to police other people's relationship agreements or make sure they're sticking to them, but I thought I'd ask what others in the lifestyle think. Interested to hear other perspectives.
This comes up a lot. I've seen this a lot in the various poly groups on Facebook, which I'm not on Facebook anymore because #resist.
Find us on Bluesky at
Power.
Kackling Koven.
But yeah, it's one of the top things that comes up is like a new person, they tell you, my wife knows I'm dating. But that's also what cheaters say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people do have sort of, some rules about I'm not going to start a relationship with you until I hear from your other partner that they know. And that can be kind of intrusive. And a lot of partners, like they have a sort of a don't ask, don't tell policy. They don't want to know. They give you permission to date, but they don't want to know anything about it. And that's their choice. That's
weird.
their business.
That's weird.
So I think
Yeah.
everybody has to decide for themselves what they feel comfortable with. I wouldn't trust a person.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. Like, I feel like if someone has other partners, I'd like to know that they exist. at some point. It's kind of back to that first story we were talking about of having that person you can rely on to be your, hey, things are going fine on the first date contact, and will be your backup. You want to be able to trust your metas
Yeah.
to,
Absolutely.
and
Well,
so
that's
if
that's
you're,
kind of where we're all at is a little bit closer to what they call kitchen table
I guess so, yeah.
poly, where we all want to be able to at least be at the same event together and know that if one of us is in the hospital, we're all going to be able to work together to help support each other. And this idea of, well, they know that I date, but they don't want to know anything else about it, and you can't contact them. That's not the kind of meta relationships that I want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So my
absolutely
choice
not.
is to not engage in that.
Yeah, is it too much of a hot take to say like that feels more like a swinger style of solo
Maybe.
swinger style of relationship as opposed to poly? I don't know. I feel like polyamory has grown into encompass a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and maybe I guess that's the purpose of sub brands, sub genres like kitchen table and all hierarchical and don't ask, don't tell, and
It sounds to me like what they used to call in the old days an agreement. They have an agreement
Yes.
yeah.
because she usually she enjoys the lifestyle and she's not willing to go be a single mother and go into the workforce or whatever. She enjoys the lifestyle, so she's agreeing to overlook the infidelity. That's kind of what that feels like to me, and that's not something that I want to be part of. And that may not be the case for everyone who does that.
Yeah.
We're all creating the lifestyle that we want that works best for us. So it's very difficult, for me to not just like pass sweeping judgments here. I want to do caveats. It's not always going to be the case, but for me, that's what it feels like. It feels unhealthy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Let's see some comments here. Well, there's a difference between trusting a partner versus a see no evil stance. Some people want to talk to the other partner. Some will take their cues from the person's behavior. Are they open about your relationship? Do you see them at normal dating times like weekends? Do they have erratic schedules where they disappear for a while or can't text you at times they would suggest they're seeing you behind someone's back? Other suggestions that are often made here are to have detailed conversations about the person's history with polyamory, how they and their partner resolve disagreements about metas and other things that would help solidify a truly E&M relationship, but would be hard for a, oh yeah, my wife is totally down with E&M liar to answer on the fly. So try to press them for actual details about how they practice ethical non-monogamy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's when you're in a long-term relationship with someone, there are so many other things that come up over time. Like what if you wind up needing even more support from your partner whose other partner doesn't want to know anything about you? Like what if you get pregnant? What if you get a cancer diagnosis? And they don't know anything about you, but their partner is now having to spend, 70% of their week with you to support you. That's going to cause a problem. So, I don't know. I think it's very complicated, and there's going to be some people who that's exactly what they want, and just stick to dating those people, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, yeah. Other people say many folks who use E&M as a cover for cheating are pretty easy to pick out
Yeah.
red flags in their profiles and early chats. It's definitely something that if you're dating as a poly person, I think it's helpful to try to ask about other partners. Because you should be upfront about being poly to begin with if you're dating someone new. And it's your intention to remain poly, whether you have other partners at the moment or not.
One of the things that I really, really like about polyamorous relationships, and again, it's not true for everyone, but I like the expectation that you should be upfront and honest, even when it's uncomfortable. And the expectation that you should communicate your feelings and your wishes, your needs, desires, and your boundaries. That there's a greater level of importance put upon it because relationships in polyamory cannot work without it. You know, in a one-on-one relationship, you guys can just agree to ignore each other for 60 years and somehow it's fine, I guess. But when you start bringing other people into it, the drama just unfolds so fast if you're not being honest and if you don't have boundaries. Like, it will kill all relationships so quickly. It's, you know, a lot of times the death of the marriage comes right after you decide to open up.
Yep.
It's because it just exposes every
plenty of people
vulnerability
to
you
do
ever
that.
had.
Yeah, my marriage didn't last more than a couple years after opening up.
Yeah.
So and it
Well.
was. Yeah, well, and you know, sometimes you know there are cases where a relationship falling apart because of those poly things is actually the right thing. Some relationships should die. Some
Correct.
relationships aren't healthy. So
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the lifeline you need is
Mm-hmm.
being able to date a new person and to see how they are treating you and how they interact with you so that you know the difference and you realize that, you know, you've been not living your best life this whole time.
well, the proof
Open
of,
your eyes.
Perspective.
that proof of E&M thing reminded me of the feature they had on OkCupid where you could actually link to your current
Yes.
partner's account.
Yes.
And
that's
you
a
could
good
then
way.
see someone, you know, you're looking at or matching with. You could see their partner linked to their officially to their account. And I'm sure someone could go out of their way to fake an
Yeah.
OkCupid account for their wife so that they could get away with cheating. But, you know, that feels like at least, you know, someone in that kind of online dating space taking that idea seriously of trying to make it, you know, feel more on the up and up. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm dating. Here's my partner as well. So you should know that they're there and that you can read their profile and hear their story of what's going on and what our relationship is.
I think like the key takeaway for this is you need to decide on your own what you're comfortable with. And you need to feel confident about expressing that. And if you are not comfortable dating someone whose other partners don't want to know about you, won't acknowledge you, you can't call and talk to them and make sure everything's okay, if you're not comfortable with that, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't compromise just so that you can get this new person that you're interested in. You know, oh, well, I'll just accept their rules. No. Be sure in yourself and what you want and don't compromise because you don't have to. It's poly.
Yeah.
What you want.
Yeah. There's a lot
Plenty
of
of-
people out there.
Plenty of people.
Yeah, just be upfront about what you need. Everyone on all sides, be upfront about what you need.
Yeah. Well, that's all the stories that I had picked out today.
Yay!
Well, excellent.
Yeah, I think any final takeaways that either of you has about all of
I
that?
want to see what everybody else thinks. I want to, you know, we kind of, because we spend a lot of time together and we're covened up and we're polyed up, we tend to agree a lot.
We're very sick.
Yeah.
But, you know, what did we miss? What's your takeaway from it? You know?
Yeah. Do you think it's
What are your
actually
thoughts?
a problem to text your partner while your date is in the bathroom?
Because if so, you're wrong.
And that has been Witch Trials. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for coming.
Subscribe to the channel, like us, follow us on Bluesky.
Yes.
Leave a comment and ask us a question. We are really interested to hear who all is out there watching this because we're really just making it for ourselves, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye-bye.